I was suddenly standing on the top of a mountain with a very sharp peak, very sharp. And it was a ridge running along, which was very sharp, cut off. And there were people up there. And I thought, what is this about, Lord? What is this about? And there people were chatting, and there were friends. There were some couples there holding hands. But I noticed some were on this side of the peak, and some were on the other, because it was sharp, like this. And some were standing on this side on the ridge. And they were talking, and then it started to rain. And I thought, that doesn't look good. And it started to rain quite heavy, and they were washed down the mountain. Now I'm at the bottom of the mountain, and the Lord's standing there, and I said, Lord, what is this about? He said, well, you see, those people were close at the top, but something changed. I began to pour out my spirit. It was a new day. It was a new beginning. It was a new era. The people washed down the mountain. But at the time they got to the bottom, because the mountain went like this, right down, they were miles apart. They were no longer, they'd been separated. And the water separated them, and some were miles at the bottom of the mountain that way, and miles at the bottom and that way. And God said, this is what I'm about to do. Change is coming. And your choices will determine which side of the mountain you're upon. I saw couples holding hands. And I saw one man fall on the wrong side, went down the wrong side, and the wife went down the other. When they got to the bottom, they were miles apart. One was in what God was doing, and the other was not. We're right there. This came back to me this morning, just as I was waking up. That replayed again. And the Lord is saying to me, we are right there now. We are right there. In the next 12, 18 months, there's going to be such a separation, be miles apart, which is a bit scary if you're on the wrong side. See, truth marches on. It doesn't stop. There's dispensations of truth. They come and God represents, but we're right there at this point. You're going to be criticized. Doesn't matter. It's worth it. There's coming this kind of separation, as it were. The decisions, now listen to this, what I want to say to you now. The decisions they made eventually separated them, and they were miles apart. Now let me tell you something. The decisions the people made and the desires of the people of Israel the desires of the people of Israel in the wilderness kept them out of the promised land. Now, you need to think about that. Their desires, what they desired in the wilderness, kept them from going into the promised land. You have to analyze your desires really clearly. Where are your desires? What are you doing? Kept them out of the promised land. So when they got to that point, they said, no, that's not what I desire anymore. And we are right there now. We're coming, you see. Yeah, the scripture in Amos 9:12, it says, and they may possess the remnant of Edom and all the heathen which are called by my name. So the Lord will do this. Amos had already said in verse 11, in that day I'm going to raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, close up the breaches thereof, raise up its ruins, and I will, as it was in the days of old, as it was in the days of David. Now, the early church had a partial experience of that, not the fullness. They had partial experience of that, the tabernacle of David. And it says, but all the heathen are going to be a part of this. It wasn't just a Jewish thing. and they possessed the remnant of Edom, all of the heathens which are called by my name. Then Amos went on to say this, right after that, the days come, saith the Lord, that the plowman shall overtake the reaper, and the treader of grapes him that soweth seed, and the mountains shall drop sweet wine, and the hills shall melt. Now when David brought back the ark and placed it in the tent on Zion, and I'll draw to a close within the next 15 minutes or so, they brought the ark up, right up to Mount Zion,